For those of us who may not have known, the TPP is a free trade agreement that's been in negotiation since around 2005. Now, these 11 countries involved could potentially turn into a single market, which means a monopoly on how business is conducted and what rules apply, particularly to the Internet. Now, one topic the TPP is negotiating currently, intellectual property rights, which could affect the digital world across the board. This negotiation would create rules that give media companies new power over the Internet. The TPP could make Internet service providers act as a copyright cop, policing what information you share. Now, the concern is that TPP may ratchet up IP enforcement so much, which means digital rights here at home just may change. This enforcement would favor special interest copyright lobbies, not the individual. It would lock out non-TPP countries into a copyright treaty that may vary greatly from the country's own IP rules. This means that treaty rules could trump an individual country's already existing intellectual property laws. For example, something that may not be criminal under the U.S. current laws may become a criminal act under TPP new regulations. TPP would change how IP infringement is defined. By defining infringement so strictly, you may be locked out of the Internet for violating these rules or something else. What else could these rules mean to you? Well, it could mean higher criminal and civil penalties for sharing online content. Online content that is now being shared without violating any regulation. This could also mean that the extreme trade agreement could allow media conglomerates the power to fine you for the use of the Internet or terminate your access to the Internet altogether. Will the U.S. be pressured into accepting these new regulations? The leaked text exposed by the Electronic Frontier Foundation, an organization speaking out against these secret talks, says that it does reflect the U.S. policy is in fact opposed to these measures. However, the U.S. may in fact be goaded into tacitly accepting them. These new regulations are potentially dangerous for Internet users because IP enforcement changes the way that information is shared. Now, there is also the issue that TPP countries may, quote, trade their way into the sovereign ability to make stiffer regulations in the future on their terms, according to the EFF. By leaving the rest of society out of these negotiations altogether, they ostensibly affect how everyone shares information. The TPP is acting on a sovereignty we may be forced to recognize. Just how these new rules affect the U.S. citizens here and how we operate in the digital realm may be unclear. If the Obama administration accepts the terms of the TPP, our rights may change when it comes to the dissemination of information. One thing is clear, though, rights seem to favor giant corporations doing business.